On a frigid winter evening, as biting winds howled through the dense forest, an old woman named Alara. Their clothes were thin and ragged, offering little protection from the relentless cold. Just as despair began to settle in, a faint light flickered through the trees. A cabin, with renewed energy, they pushed forward until they reached the small, rustic dwelling. Alara knocked weakly on the solid wooden door. It creaked open to reveal a mountain man. He was tall and broad-shouldered, with a thick beard and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the ancient forest. His name was Kale, and he lived a solitary life, finding comfort in the quiet companionship of the wilderness. Seeing the shivering family on his doorstep, his stern expression softened. Without a word, he stepped aside, gesturing for them to enter. The small cabin was filled with the scent of pine and Kale offered them thick fur blankets and ladled hot stew into bowls. As the girls ate ravenously, their faces regaining some color, Alara watched the mountain man, her heart filled with a mixture of gratitude and caution. She had heard tales of the reclusive men of the mountains, and not all were kind, but Kale's actions spoke of a gentle heart beneath his rugged exterior. Days turned into weeks. Kale, a man of few words, showed his kindness through deeds. He taught the girls how to track animals, identify edible plants, and read the signs of the forest. He carved them small wooden animals and told them stories of the mountain spirits, his deep voice a comforting rumble by the fireside. Lyra, the older daughter, was quiet and observant, soaking in every lesson. Faye, the younger one, was bright and cheerful, her laughter echoing through the cabin and melting the iciness that had long settled in Kale's heart. Alara, skilled with a needle and thread, mended Kale's clothes and wove intricate patterns into new garments using plant fibers she gathered. She cooked hearty meals that filled the cabin with warmth and life. Slowly, a new kind of family began to form, one born not of blood, but of shared hardship and quiet understanding. The cabin, once a place of solitude for Kale, was now a home, alive with the sounds of a family he never knew he needed. One evening, as a blizzard raged outside, Faye fell gravely ill. Her fever was high, and her breathing was shallow. Alara was frantic with worry. Kale, seeing her distress, put on his thickest coat. He told Alara about a rare glowing moss that grew in a hidden cave deep in the mountains, a moss said to have powerful healing properties. The journey would be treacherous, especially in the storm, but he didn't hesitate. "I will be back," he promised, his gaze steady and reassuring. Kale battled the blizzard, the wind tearing at him like a wild beast. He navigated the treacherous paths from memory, his determination fueled by the image of Faye's pale face. After what felt like an eternity, he found the cave. Inside, a soft, ethereal light pulsed from the moss clinging to the walls. He carefully gathered it and began the perilous journey back, the precious cargo protected inside his coat. He returned, exhausted but triumphant, just as dawn was breaking. Elra made a tea from the glowing moss, and as Faye drank it, the fever began to subside. By morning, color had returned to her cheeks. The relief in the cabin was palpable. Alara looked at Kale, her eyes filled with tears of gratitude. In that moment, she knew this man was their guardian, their savior. He hadn't just given them shelter, he had given them a future. As spring arrived, melting the snow and bringing the forest back to life, a group of travelers passed by the cabin. They told Alara that her distant relatives in a nearby town were searching for her. It was a chance to return to society, to a life she once knew. The decision was agonizing. She looked at her daughters, who now saw the forest as their playground and Kale as their protector. She looked at Kale, who had become the center of their small world. One evening, Alara sat with Kale by the fire. "We have a chance to leave," she said softly, her voice heavy with emotion. "To go to a town, to live a normal life." Kale remained silent for a long time, staring into the flames. The crackling of the fire was the only sound. Finally, he turned to her, his eyes filled with a deep sadness she had never seen before. "The forest is a good home," he said simply. "But a child needs more than trees and a silent man. You should go where they can flourish." His words were selfless, but they broke Alara's heart. She saw the sacrifice he was willing to make for her daughter's happiness. The next morning, she gathered Lyra and Faye. She asked them what they wanted. Lyra, wise beyond her years, looked towards the mountain peaks and then at Kale, who was chopping wood nearby. "This is home," she said. Faye ran to Kale and hugged his leg tightly. "Stay with Kale," she chirped. The choice was made. Alara went to Kale and took his large, calloused hand in hers. "We're not leaving," she said, her voice firm. "We are home." A slow smile spread across Kale's face, a rare and beautiful sight that lit up his rugged features. The travelers left, and the little family in the mountains continued their life, their bond stronger than ever. Years passed. The girls grew into strong, capable young women, with the wild spirit of the forest in their hearts and Kale's wisdom in their minds. Kale, the lonely mountain man, was now a father and a partner. his life filled with a love he never expected to find. The old woman who had begged for shelter had, in turn, saved him from his own solitude. Together they had built a life not on what they had lost but on what they had found in each other.